Hello and welcome to this new edition of the Foojay Podcast. Today I'm crossing the Atlantic Ocean for my Foojay Java user group virtual world tour to visit the Dominican JUG.
Welcome to the Foojay Podcast, all your news about OpenJDK.
Once a month in this podcast, we talk about the history of a Java user group and the people behind it. Today we are traveling to the Dominican Republic to learn more about the country and its Java community.
Hello, friends of JDK. I'm Brayan Muñoz from Dominican Republic Java user group. I'm just a young dev from the Dominican Republic working with Java. And I'm here to share with you what are we doing at the Dominican Republic Java user group.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eudris Cabrera from Dominican Republic Java User Group. I'm the co-founder. And thank you, Frank, for having us at Foojay Podcast.
And I'm Frank Delporte, creator of this podcast, technical writer at Azul, and interested in everything which is happening within the Java world. Before we dive into the JUG and what you're doing with Java and with the community, what should we know about the Dominican Republic?
The Dominican Republic is a small country in the Caribbean. It's well known for his amazing beaches, also for the hospitality of our people. And we are well known also because we are the foreign country with the most baseball players in the Major League Baseball that is played in the US. We also have a lot of players in Europe baseball leagues. So that's how many people know the Dominican Republic. But from the youth perspective, we also want to know or that people knows the Dominican Republic because of the great Java community that we are evolving and raising here.
Yeah, about that Java community. So you have your JUG. Can you share a bit about the history of it? How long does it exist? How did it start?
Our first session was in 2014, February 2014. Yeah.
You were already involved in 2014, or you became part of the team later?
In the case of Eudris, he is one of the co-founders along with Carlos Camacho. He is not with us today because some other obligations. But in my case, I became like an active member in 2021 when I was a volunteer for our JConf, our local conference that we organized as a JUG.
You said you're a small country. How many members do you have in your JUG?
We have different channels for communication in the youth. In Telegram, the most RT channel, we have over 200.
And how many people join the sessions?
Well,
Okay.
in our sessions, we have like monthly talks sessions often, and there are around 20, 25 people regularly. But we are also doing like joint sessions with other Latin American Java user groups. And when we are doing these joint sessions with them, there are obviously more people that join the talks or the recordings because there are people from the other countries.
You say 2025, that's what I see at a lot of JUGs, even in big cities or big countries. So it's really finding the right people at the right time for the right topic. And as someone mentioned before, it's not about the number of people who show up, but the right people and being interested in the topic. Is it always also the case at your JUG that the social part is at least as important as the topic of the evening?
Yes, sure. The social part is almost most important than the topic of the talk because people wants to know each other, wants to interact with each other and so on, you know.
You're on island, so do you fly in speakers or are they most local people?
Yeah. Most of our speakers are local speakers. Most of the time, when we have international speaker, is remotely presented. Yeah.
So remotely presenting is a possibility. I think with COVID, that was also one of the solutions, or didn't you have a
Yes.
real impact of that?
Yes, with the COVID impact on the youth, we started like doing these virtual meetings along with other youths from the Caribbean, right, Elders? we started collaborating with other JUGs from the Caribbean or Latin American, and if I correctly remember, we started doing something that was like Java in quarantine times because we
Yeah.
were all in quarantine. So we started like doing those kind of meetings with that name or with that format. And after that, the same meetings just were renamed into something that we are calling JDK Fundamental Talks. So friends of JDK, we are doing in Latin America and JDK Fundamental Talks along with
Yeah,
other
yeah,
groups from Colombia. Hello to Carlos Obregon, that is a Java champion from
yeah.
Peru, Jose Diaz, another Java champion, and some other groups
Uh,
from Latin America,
yeah, Ecuador,
Nicaragua, Guatemala.
Nicaragua, Mexico. Yeah.
Mhm.
About Montreal, about 10 Java user group of Latin America. We have a joint session. Yeah.
I see on your Twitter that you're mainly communicating in Spanish.
Yes.
Is that deliberately? Is that really a strong point for you that you can share content in Spanish? Do you attract other people, you think, than English websites?
Yes, we almost do everything in Spanish because it's our country primary language, but also we are like not putting a blocker if there are some speakers that want to share with us in English, because in this, technical part of the job, we all need to at least learn or read in English. And I cannot say all of our attendants or participants of the JUG know English, but they can understand the language or what are you saying in this technical stuff.
Is your community, is it mixed? Is it like in most IT sectors, most male, or do you also have a strong female community?
In our case, we are almost 90% of male,
Mhm.
but we always try to include women or just to try to make them feel they are inclusive in our JUG, doing some sessions just for women. In the 2021 or 2022 JConf, we did like a talk or a joint session between some girls. I cannot remember the name of the session, but there were like three girls talking about their experience with Java and with technology.
Mhm. And also for students, I don't know the education in your country, but do students really get trained in Java, and are they also interested in joining the JUG and learning from these speakers?
Looking back at 2014, looking back to 2014, most of the school, they were teaching programming language like Fortran, Visual Basic, Delphi, and and a lot of students want to learn Java, and frequently people ask for help. Hey, how can I start learning Java? And that's one of the reasons uh, to create a Java user group. Yeah, right now most of the school and university are teaching Java, but they are teaching Java and Java 7, Java 6, but we are trying to work with him or with them to bring the news engagement of the language.
Which is actually, yeah, it's a bit of a fun story. I was at the university here in Belgium some time ago to speak about Java, and they were also not focusing on the latest versions of Java. They just want to have that the students understand the basics of good object-oriented programming. And they were a bit surprised as a teacher how Java has evolved in the last years. So they were really surprised. Lambdas and streams and the new switch cases and records, all these kind of things that you learn at the JUG. That was something they were not really aware of also in education. I think indeed that's a good point that a JUG can really influence the education and learn them new things too. Do you have some kind of cooperation with these universities?
Yes, in our case, just to talk about my case, also is Eudris' case. We are alumni from the same career here in the Dominican Republic, and we started both with Java, different generations,
Yes.
obviously, but we started both with Java at the university. My first touch with Java was at the university. it it is the university that also is partner of our Java user group. Most of our meetings, if they are present, like in-person meetings, are at the campus of this university, and they always have been with us. Also, one of our co-founders, the other one, Carlos Camacho, is like he's one of the leaders of this computer science career at the university. So he's always trying to push Java along with this university curriculum or syllabus.
Yeah, I see you have a very big side project with your JUG is actually a conference. Can you talk a bit about why you started organizing this?
Around the 2018, a lot of youth from Latin America want to do a, want to organize a series of conference to bring a speaker from Europe and US and the USA. And we want and we joined into the organization. That's the way uh, that we create JConf Dominicana, JConf Dominicana. In the same year, in 2019, there was JConf in Colombia and Peru and the Dominican Republic. Java luminary like Josh Long, Mark Heckley, Heather Rancura, and Sebastian Dashen travel in the for Latin America to attend to JConf series of conference. Um, Fun fact: some of the speakers were presented into Spanish. For example, Mark Heckley, Sebastian Dashen, yeah, they speak Spanish very well. Yeah.
So it was really a conference across different countries, so all
Yeah.
within the same week or one after the other, something
Oh,
like
no.
that?
Conference in different countries. The first in Dominican Republic, the next week in Colombia, the next week in Peru.
Yeah. So the speakers could really do a tour through all the countries.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
They can also make it a very nice journey, I guess,
yes,
Yes.
yes,
in between
yes.
speaking.
It was a dream come true. For the first time, Java Luminary presenting in your country. We are very excited.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
always we always follow speaker like Josh Long. I know Benca and Colombia too. Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yes, we
Yeah.
were very excited with that conference. Yes,
But you started it somewhere just before COVID, so I guess that was also a blocker at some point.
due to the COVID pandemic, the JCon 2020 was canceled. Yeah. So we were in the early stage of the organization, but was canceled.
Mhm. But you quickly recovered, I see, because 2022, 21, 22, you immediately restarted the conference.
Yes,
Yes.
those two editions were virtually, and we went back in person this year, 2023.
Mhm. And how was it this year? You had again this high-level speakers or the world tour speakers, or did you look into more local people?
In this year edition, we had some people also nice Java luminaries, but most from the Spanish speakers. We have someone from Mexico that is called Chochos. His name is Enrique, but everyone in the Java community knows him as Chocho. We have Francisco from Nicaragua, right? We have also Jorge, that is from Colombia, right,
Oh,
Eudris?
no, Guatemala.
Jorge
Oh,
Cajasmota from Guatemala. We had really nice speakers, foreign speakers, but we also had a lot of good speakers from our country.
I think the names are still online, the schedules and the speakers of the last session. So I will add the link to the show notes if people want to check all these speakers. I also found your name, Brayan, related to the Java Community Process Program Awards. Apparently, you won an achievement related to education.
Yes, there is an initiative that is being managed by the JCP, the Java Community Process, related to Java in education. We were talking about that before in this podcast, but there is an initiative led by the JCP that you can go to jcp.org/java-in education, and you can look what it's about. And because of some contributions that we have been made, mostly from myself, but that is like a JUG effort, is not just my effort. And we have been contributing to this initiative led by JCP, leading some workshops locally related to this new Java in education stuff, also some talks and some different kind of things. That was like the main point that we are nominated on that Duke Awards.
Yeah, congrats. So is that also education in high school or also younger kids?
Yes, it's also in younger kids. One of the other JUGs or person that are nominated under that category are DevOps for kids, that is from Europe also. So it's not just for young devs at the university level. One of the purpose of the initiative is that we made Java the first generation or the first language for each educational level. It doesn't matter that is the university or just young devs that are starting from scratch, like knowing what is a computer. They can start with Java. And we know, or maybe one of the people that are watching this podcast doesn't know, but Java is making a lot of great and new changes related to improve the experience of the new developers and the teachers also, so they can feel more comfortable in that way of teaching Java and also learning Java.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I also have a Coder Dojo, so Clap for Kids, and I'm not using Java there. Maybe, but I see. Yeah, for younger kids, we start with Scratch, and then we have a Minecraft team which are doing things in JavaScript. Actually, I should start a Java team there.
Yes, there are some different options, like it not just Java, but as you mentioned, we have Scratch, we have Alice, that is something
yeah.
built to teach Java for young people. It's a really good project, I believe, from Carnegie Mellon University. But yes, we have a lot of good resources for teaching Java to young persons and also for people that wants to learn by themselves. There are a lot of good resources out there. So if you can, or if you want, you can put that link also on the podcast, the jcp.org/Java in education.
Yeah, we'll definitely do. And you're right, we have the JEP 445, which was in Java 21 as a preview feature with the simplified main method. And that's our
Yes.
things.
Also, the unnamed classes. Now you don't need to declare a class name, and the instance main methods, as you mentioned. You don't need the usual public static void main. Just write in void main, and you can start writing some Java programs.
Yeah.
And I believe that in newer versions, there will also reduce the ceremony with written a system without print. So it will also become easier for learning and for teaching.
Yeah, we should all push Java a bit more into education and in the direction of beginners.
Yes.
If we go back to the JUG, do you have a specific session in mind which was either amazing or went totally wrong? I hope not too much of totally wrong.
Yes. Yes. In the early years, as I said before, we have remotely, we have a speaker presenting remotely, but most of the time, Carlos and I were the speaker. The most remarkable session was the first edition of JConf Dominicana. As I said before, again, you have JavaDominica presenting in your country. Just Long, Mark Heckley, Heather. It was a dream come true. Yes, yes.
And
Yes.
something that went wrong?
Yes. I remember one. Oracle Caribbean is located in Puerto Rico. Yes, it's about 1 hour from Dominican Republic. Someone from Oracle Caribbean was working at Santo Domingo, and I was contacted by him to organize a session in our youth. Yes, it was the first foreign speaker, and we have high expectation with that session. But about 2 hours before the session, it started raining a lot, heavy rain. Due to heavy rain, just 5 people attend to a session. It was awful. Yes, we have high expectation with that session, but we can meet the speaker expectation.
Yeah. But that's out of your hands. It was not your fault. The weather is messing up.
Yes.
What is your personal motivation to be part of the JUG organization team?
Carlos and I used to meet frequently. We talk about anything, sport and politics, and including Java and software development. And every conversation ends with the following statement: there isn't a place, there wasn't a place where a Java developer can meet to share knowledge. And that's our main motivation. We strongly believe we can work together, we can collaborate and learn from each other and to make a difference. Yes.
And for you, Brayan?
In my case, it's about giving back to the Java community, like what Java has given to me. I'm just a young dev. I know that I have a lot of steps to run ahead of my career, but this about that. It's giving back to the community what Java has given to me. It's about multiplying the knowledge. I know that I'm not maybe an expert at anything, but I can contribute with what I know to those people who maybe doesn't know what I know or who doesn't know anything at all, and they just want to start their career or they just want to move from another career to IT. It doesn't need to be Java, but it's about that. And a more directly answer could be that why are I involved is because of Carlos was my teacher, the other founder of the JUG, and he was the one that asked, hey, do you want to join our Java user group? And I started learning about what is a Java user group, how we can like give back to the community what we know about Java, and how we can run a community. That is not maybe an easy task.
Did he give you extra points because you were joining the JUG?
No, that was just at the end of my career because he was also my thesis advisor. So there were not points at any, you know.
It's something, yeah, it's something as a mentor that you invite
Yes.
and join. You mentioned to grow your career. What are the career opportunities in Dominican Republic? What kind of Java companies do you have there?
Most of the company use Java. Bank, the government. Right now, I'm working for the Dominican Republic Ministry of Finance. All all the finance operations run on the JVM. Our applications are developed and maintained by ourselves, by our team. And we have gained deep understanding of Java and Jakarta EE. Um, we have a telecom company, bank. Java is used in a lot of companies here, but uh, uh, that's a lot of a vacancy, open vacancy. So, company always are looking for Java developer. We try to teach uh, to teach Java because there are a lot of open jobs in Dominican Republic.
Yes, as Eudris says, there are a lot of companies in our country offering Java jobs because they use Java in their organizations. In the Eudris case, he say he's part of the Ministry of Finance of the Dominican Republic. So if you need like a reason to learn Java, the, all the finance operations of your country, in our case, Dominican Republic,
Yeah.
runs above the JVM. So it's like a good reason or a good option just to learn Java. And there are also a lot of companies here in the Dominican Republic that are doing like outsourcing developers. So we have a lot of companies here using Java, but there are also another companies that are bringing our talent, our local developers to companies abroad our country. So with this virtual stuff nowadays, there's no limit.
No, indeed. That's the
Yeah.
one we can thank COVID for, that working remotely has become a normal thing.
Yes.
Yes.
And as you say, Java is ruling the world, so it's in a lot of companies and a lot of governments. And yeah, what are the plans for the future? We are nearly at the start of 2024. Now, actually, we are broadcasting this recording. We are recording this halfway in December, but we will publish it start of January. So, what brings 2024?
One of the main plans for our future as a Java user group is increasing our visibility.
Mhm.
We know that we are maybe in a good place, but doing once as a plan of the JUG, the organizers, we as the staff of the JUG, we want to increase our visibility. Also, we have the commitment about educating the next generation in Java. And that's why we have been close to the JCP, the Java in Education Initiative, as you have mentioned before, and also continue mentoring the new speakers. I believe that that was one of the main reasons that I'm part of the JUG. As I say, Carlos was my teacher, my thesis advisor, so it was like a good advice from him that in my case I can join the Java user group, and I found mentoring with Eudris, Carlos, and all the other people in our JUG. So that's part of our plans, and also bringing more non-local speakers to our usual monthly talks or to our conference that will take place in July in 2024. So if you are making plans to visit any conference in 2024,
That's
we will have our conference in July 2024. If you are watching this podcast also and you are a Java speaker and you want to visit the Caribbean and the Dominican Republic Java user group, we can put you in our monthly talks virtually, but we also have our in-person conference, as we have talked in the podcast before.
Is there already a call for paper for the conference in
The
2024?
call for paper is not ready yet, but maybe when this recording became available, the call for paper will be also available.
If it is, I will also add a link to the show notes that people can find it easily. How can people find you, join you? I see you have a very big GitHub project also with JavaDominica. I see that even your conference website is there with GBang, so you're using Java to generate a website. I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, what is the perfect way to? I don't think you use Meetup. Is there another way that people can register for the JUG?
We use
Um,
Eventbrite.
we can follow it on Twitter, X, and also we have a channel in Telegram where we can discuss the hot topics in is the most RT channel of the community. And also we have in Facebook we have a group when you can join. And right now we are working in our website to consolidate all the channel and all the contents of the community.
Before we finish up, is there something you want to ask to the listeners or to the viewers of this podcast? You already invited them to the conference. That's one thing as a speaker.
Yes, that was I was going to say, or is it stopping you from coming to talk in our Java user group
Mhm.
to share your experience? It doesn't need to be like an expert topic about like virtual dress or anything. You can share your experience with Java. Why you suggest young people to learn Java?
Mhm.
I don't have like anything else. Eudris, do you want to ask something to the
Yes,
speakers?
thank you to Frank, and at the same time, congratulations for the work that you're doing with Foojay Podcast. And Foojay is a good platform to learn about Java. It was an easy platform. Uh, yes, and now you have uh, articles, the podcast, and a lot of content, and it's awesome.
So let me turn back the question and
Yeah,
towards the Dominican community. If you're listening
yeah.
to the podcast and you have great Java content that you already created or you still want to write it, you can also publish it on Foojay. So let's make it a two-way collaboration. Foojay is there for the Java community, so anyone who wants to share content on Foojay is very welcome. And you on Foojay, the homepage, you can find the links to contribute your first article and join the Slack. So indeed, Foojay is just part of the community, the same community that you are participating in with the Dominican JUG. So thanks a lot for joining this podcast. Thanks a lot for your time and for your great work that you're doing with the JUG and the conference and education and everything around it. Thank you also very much to you, the listeners of this episode of the Foojay Podcast. Keep an eye on our website for future articles about development and everything related to the Java world. Thanks for listening.
Give me a foo, give me a J, give me the friends of OpenJDK.